Cape Rugby TV. Yo, Wednesdays at 9 o'clock. Tonight is our final show of the year. It's been 32 episodes of rocking rugby here in Cape Town, dominating the TV airwaves, even if some out there still haven't quite switched on to the fact that there's more happening in the world of sport other than in the world of the top part of the pyramid. Can't quite get those media planners and big brands out there to switch on to the fact that rugby is relevant to the other 90% of the world as opposed to their tiny little fragment out there. But we'll deal with them during the course of the year, and we'll make sure that club rugby community sport gets on the map. Remember, we're going to do it with your support. Herman Abrams, hello, Mr. H.
Good evening, JP.
You're looking very happy, or is you moeg?
No, I'm quite happy. It was a fantastic year, so.
It was a fantastic year.
I'm very happy.
And you and I just came from the same meeting, the Sports Council, Western Province Sports Council.
Yeah, they're still busy there.
They're still busy there. I must say, I was quite surprised. I mean, I didn't expect to see you there. And I walked, and there you were. And
I always attend those meetings.
You always attend those meetings. Of course, members of the Sports Council, many of them are members of Cape Town TV and trying to do something similar to Cape Rugby.
Yeah, it was quite a long, after you left, there was quite a lengthy discussion on, what this show is meant for rugby and how it can benefit the others. Mm-hmm. So hopefully they will all come to the party. Yeah,
folks, so if you are out there and you're wondering, what do you do to get yourself on TV? It's not all about rugby. That's not what Cape Town TV is about. We're trying to create sport for all of you out there, all right? You just need to make contact with us because we want your sporting content. We want you on TV. We want to create similar type of shows for your sport, right? Whatever sport it may be, even if it's fancy pigeons. We'll strap one of those cameras to the front of it, fancy, Egan Seconds, welcome back, my man.
Good to be back for the grand finale, JP.
The grand finale, it is, yeah.
I can't believe it's the end of the season already.
Can you believe it's been 32 episodes? That's what we've done. We planned on only a couple, and it's...
Just a question. I thought he was fired. He hasn't been around.
No, he was fired up, yeah. Because I know, we've got to ask him, actually. So just tell us, where have you been?
I was in Bermuda with the South African rugby legends. It was my first trip as a rugby legend, and... it was an eye-opener for me, and it was good to rub shoulders with the guys.
What is the Rugby Legends?
The Rugby Legends is basically a World Cup for the guys that has moved on, I don't want to call it veterans. Mr. H is looking at me already because I don't consider myself a veteran. But
Is he a veteran?
He's a veteran.
He's a veteran, yeah.
But if you look at the guys that has taken part in that tournament, it's like a World Cup. You play against Argentina, New Zealand, you play against the British Lions. So
it's all ex-players, all ex-internationals getting together, playing rugby some of the time.
Yeah. I don't want to emphasize on that, but it was a good tournament.
I warned you before going. I said, make sure you take an extra liver with you.
Yeah, you did warn me. I have to say that's why I said I learned a lot on this trip, JP.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yep, for sure.
Now, I've had some chats with the likes of Chris Rousseau and Robbie Kempson and a few of the other boys that have been on that tour. Bram van Straten actually spoke to him about going on that tour. He says at one stage he just had to go and hide.
I also seeked advice before I left to one or two guys that has been there before. And I said, how's the rugby going? You must understand, like my debut tour, I'm excited to go play rugby. And the only thing they kept saying was, what rugby are you talking about?
Yeah. It must be an amazing environment to have all those legends there.
It was fantastic, and it's guys just roaming around and the legends of, especially the British Lions who brought out the big guns. And then,
give us a couple of names of the guys.
There was one guy that unfortunately got injured. I know I played against him in the Sims. It was Josh Lucy that played for England.
Yes, of course, yeah.
He was playing in the British Lions team. I mean, they did really, really well.
Yeah.
Argentina came with a lot of their sevens internationals.
Yeah.
And a lot of times with this Legends tournament, a lot of guys think it's guys that's 40 years old. And a lot of the teams are bringing younger guys now. I'm talking younger guys that has just moved across from the professional era, who's probably still playing semi-professional.
Yeah.
So it's becoming a lot more competitive. I mean, all the games, we lost 7-5 and...
but those names, the players that you're playing against, those are all names that members of the public would recognize as former internationals.
Definitely. Even if you check on the site, the names that was there, I mean, the Caleb Ralphs of New Zealand was playing, the Walter Littles. I mean, these are big names that played for New Zealand, and they were all there. most of them were there for things apart from the rugby as well.
Well, it's obviously at a time like that, you look and you see, well, if you're at the Legends, now I understand your rugby back in the day.
Yeah. Believe me, I'm playing the legend thing down to the max, you know?
Yes,
if I tell people, if they talk to me and you don't have legend in your sentence, I'm not answering you back. But it was real fun, JP. It was real fun.
Is it true that we must now refer to him as the legend, Egan Seconds?
Well, you're the one that came up with that, Mr. H, you know, so I'm quite liking that name.
Changing his Twitter handle to the Legend.
It's actually I Am Legend, for
those
who want to know.
Right, okay. I was waiting for Paul Delport to get back here, but we'll see where. Paul is, of course, at the HSBC 7s. Folks, we'll have that competition up and running a little bit later. You want to go and see the HSBC 7s in Port Elizabeth on the 9th and 10th of October. That's next week. Saturday, Friday and Saturday, Sunday. Anyway, you'll get up there to Port Elizabeth. We'll give away a cookbook and a set of double tickets, just like we did last week, to go and watch the Sevens play. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic opportunity. That's coming up a little bit later. Also joining us on the show this evening is Ebrahim Murat from the Ironbok Rugby Academy out of Krugerskir High School. We'll find out what some of the guys are doing outside there to build rugby in the communities and give opportunity for school kids to experience rugby at a higher level. That is coming up a little bit later in the show. Looking forward to that insert. Of course, as you know, it's been one of those, 6 weeks odd now? How long have we been preparing for this kiddies day?
Yeah, well, he was still
here
when we started.
Yeah, you missed all the toys.
I did.
You missed all the toys, Mr. H. Before we go to the footage, good day?
An exceptional day.
Yeah.
A very moving day, and a humbling experience. You know, when you feel a young kid just crawling up to you here and standing next to you, looking for attention and looking for love, then you understand. You know, and you think that there's 240 kids. Their parents have all thrown them away, literally.
Yeah.
And they are there, and you know the caregivers are there, and it's wonderful to see how those people care for those kids, you know.
Amazing job.
From 2-year-old to 19-year-olds, you know.
Yeah,
It's quite.
But I mean, it just goes to show that you know, you can be an adult just standing there, and one of the kids will just walk up and hold your hand.
Yeah.
Out of the blue.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just their desperation to have contact with an adult. Not even, forget about the rugby players even. They'll just make contact with an adult. Which I think goes to show why it is that those toys are so important. And Egan, you weren't here, but we had courtesy of Ivan Lintner from Tata and the Rotary organization in the Tygerberg area, I think. They collected more than 700 toys for us. Mr. H wanted to take them all with him at one stage, but we had toys everywhere here. And did it go handout okay?
Everybody got. Every single kid there got, I think, got 2 toys or 3 toys.
Okay, amazing, yeah. And you had Father Christmas there?
Yes, Father Christmas arrived there.
I just got to ask you, there was a guy there who saw me arrive with a camera, and he said, "Wag, ek moet my shoot kry, ek moet my shoot kry." Now, I'm not going to say his name because of course we don't want to. We all know Father Christmas actually does exist.
Yeah.
But when he said, "I've got to get my suit," I thought, you know, I'm sure I recognize this oak from Perseverance, but he can't be Father Christmas. Let's take a look at some of the footage and some of the organizations that were involved with us. It was an absolutely fantastic day. The disadvantaged kids from the orphanages, kids with previously disadvantaged backgrounds, all coming to the HPC to enjoy some fantastic get away, call it that. Let's take a look at that.
Ramondi September, and I am at Heritage Children's Home. And today we had a lot of fun. Hello, fine. I'm eating burgers and chips.
My name is Tane van Zyl. I'm from Meadowdale Children's Home. I'm enjoying the stay today with all of these people, having fun with the people. I saw the bokke, I saw honey, and I had fun, lots of fun, as you can say, lots of fun. Painting, there was school, there was lunch, there was everything for today.
Off you go, go down. And tag, put up the tag. Off you go, let's go guys. 1, 2, off you go, go down. Tag.
My name is Elizabeth and my surname is Naude. I'm from Meadowdale Children's Home, and we're enjoying this day. We had lots of fun so far, and there was jumping castles, and we had some games. We play and we had fun and we eat, but it was nice here. But we're gonna have fun, and Fergus is gonna come, I think. Brandon is gonna come out.
As a professional sportsman, you get an opportunity to sort of give back and, to just come show your face and, just share a bit of these kids. Hopefully gives them a bit of hope and, brightens their day. And, as we all had dreams, we all had heroes, and hopefully we can play our part in giving these kids a bit of hope. I think they've had an unbelievable day, and, Western Province and the School of Excellence, everyone that's doing the work out here really got to take a big amount of credit for, how much they're giving back to these kids. They don't always get the opportunities we get, and, being out here in the sun, having some fun with other kids and, getting to meet their heroes is pretty special. So, hopefully, we make it special for them, and hopefully they'll remember this day for a very long time.
Well, it certainly was a special occasion for the kids who managed to get out there. Mr. H, but it was obviously not possible without the help of a lot of organisations that came to support.
A lot of organisations, clubs, and the volunteers. And I just want to say something about Brian. He's a great ambassador for rugby. The kids love him, and he had a race with all of them there at the end. And it's amazing to see that all of them knew exactly who he was, and that's fantastic for him and for rugby. It's great. And people talk about his rugby, but that part of him is worth all the millions that they spend on him.
He really.
So he does earn millions, Mr. H.
Well,
so that's what you expect to see. The reality is that no player actually belongs to anybody other than the fans. It's the fans that pay to see the players, and without the fans, there'd be no sponsors. Ultimately, it comes back to the fans who pay for players to exist. So it's almost like it's his duty to do it, but not all players are as good at it as he does. So it's nice to see that. But again, a couple of organisations that really came to the party. Let's take a look at some of the organisations, because this is what community TV is This is what community TV is all about, and we have to at least give credit to those organizations that have come to the party. Leisure Hotels, right in the mix there, of course. Leisure Hotels supported Cape Town TV, at least the Cape Rugby TV show, right through the season. So it was a fantastic opportunity. They put us on the map, actually, and got the ball rolling. Gary Bell, Parmalat's, the city of Cape Town was there. That's nice to see. Bacomo, Pioneer Foods, Roy Jacobs, as we know, Roy in his personal capacity. Kitsoff Associate Office National, New Laid Eggs, CDC Sports, that's where you get your club rugby jerseys from. McDonald's came to the party. Thank you very much, McDonald's. Mackie D's. Coca-Cola, Simba, Discovery was there. We discovered Discovery there. And DHL Fruit and Veg, and of course, George Fletcher. So massive thanks. Let's take a look at some of the clubs that were involved during that process there. Belhar in the mix, Silurians, Hamiltons, Primrose, Temperance, Milnerton. Of course, Cities, Goodwood, Kylemore, UWC, and Collegians. So a big thanks to the clubs that came to the party. Next year, those clubs, of course, give us a shout when you need us to come to your games to film your teams, and we'll have you first in the queue. But it was a fantastic opportunity. Not only did we manage to grab some footage of the kiddies having a lot of fun, and of course, so many people supporting the event, we also managed to catch up with some of the administrators and coaches behind the scenes. Let's hear what they had to say.
This is really to uplift and spoil the kids today.
How many kids?
We brought along 20 kids today.
And all that. But we're happy that you guys make time for this show. And there's such a need for them to get their self-worth back, because they just all packed in a room or on the street. But we thank you for this.
Exciting to see all the kids here and all the caregivers and all the players mingling with the kids. They're all very excited about what is happening here today.
We are actually now the Western Province Rugby CSI team. We've spoken to all the homes today. I mean, it's a phenomenal experience that a rugby union like Western Province Rugby hosts such an event.
These are the things we live for, hey? Spending time, quality time with kids from all backgrounds. HPC is always open for those kinds of activities.
Hoe lyk dinge vandag?
Ja, baie goed, kan nie kla nie man.
Geniet julle met die kinders?
Ja, het is lekker om 'n bietjie tyd te spandeer saam met hulle, ja. Ons het nou 'n lekker sessie gehad van die pre-season, tweede week van die pre-season, so ons geniet man.
Het hulle 'n bietjie gym gedoen vandag?
So iets ja, ons moet 'n bietjie sterker raak vir volgende jaar, dat ons die trofees kan huis toe bring.
Oh, fantastic, JP. I think with this intense conditioning phase that we're really going through now, and the players, there's a bit of downtime. And having kids around us, you know, always creates a jovial environment, you know, an environment where youngsters are very excited to meet the heroes, you know, which is what Stormers and Western Province really stand for, is to be very accessible, you know, and the kids coming here, obviously they meet, you know, the heroes, and we, on the other end, would like to say hello and to our supporters, and also a thank you on, you know, for the loyal support over the years. So it's really fantastic. I think Herman Abrams and Faisal have done a tremendous job, you know, and getting you know, the team very close to the people out there who support them.
They're very cute, very small. Jeez.
Yeah.
We're throwing them around a bit. I think it's some fun.
Do you think they're going to be potential rugby stars?
Jeez, I hope so. We need a few of their stepping abilities here in the high performance.
When I spoke to them early in the morning, I said, that's the only thing that we can do from the union, just to bring a little bit of joy to their hearts. And they're enjoying themselves today, and we hope that they will remember this day for the rest of their life.
Well, there you have it. Some administrators there just taking time out, a little bit busy. Of course, it must be difficult for Alistair and Chippy, everyone to, they've got such a heavy schedule to take time out and make sure that they do this.
But you know, I must, at this stage, I must thank Faisal for all the work that he's put in. He's arranged everything, and the students with him. And on Monday night, we had our AGM. They went back after the AGM, worked right through the night to pack the 300 bags with I think if you look in each bag, there would be about 30 or 40 different items. And they had to put it in age groups and all that, so that 2-year-old child will get an appropriate gift. So it was a fantastic job that they did.
Yeah, no. Well, I don't know if it was in the interview, but Alistair Coetzee actually thanked you and Faisal Felton personally for the good work that was done there. So yeah, there a lot of work goes on behind the scenes. You've got a pretty small team there, but of course when it comes to a thing like this, everybody jumps in and gets in the mix.
Yeah, no.
Egan, this kind of stuff's important, huh?
Very important, James. I mean, something like that, that you take time out, a short time in one day, that can change your kid's life forever.
Yeah.
Like Mr. H said, that he walks up to you and just grabs your hand. I mean, them actually just interacting with you and you being in their presence might seem like nothing to you, but to that kid, he'll remember it for the rest of his life. That might be his motivation to be successful in whatever he wants to do.
And it just goes to show how important it is for people in the community to step up.
Yeah.
To actually act as role models. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
You're not asking you to give money even or do lots. Just say hello.
That's the thing.
It is so easy if you're an adult just to walk over and say hello to a child. I mean, you can always walk down the road and ignore a child, but so easy and takes no time to just walk past a child and say, hello, how are things today? Because I think the child takes that as a connection with somebody that they can respect and someone that's a role model and someone they can turn to. And maybe that's something that's missing in our communities is adults stepping up.
Yeah. You know what, the other thing that we did, each of the 11 organizations that were there, they all got a takeaway at the end, a huge box full with toys and educational toys that they can use.
Yes.
Even eggs, we gave them, you see, New-laid
From
eggs.
New-laid, yes, I saw New-laid,
We gave them boxes of eggs, they can go make breakfast for the kids. And
so there's a lot of food donated as well. Yeah.
So, you know, besides the fact that the kids all got presents,
yes,
the home itself also got a big gift.
And of course, the biggest present actually at the end of the day is that you get to go home and you go like, that actually felt good.
Yes, it does.
You know?
It does.
I know it sounds a little bit strange, but it's like giving someone money at the robot. You think to yourself, I don't need this in my life now. But then you do it and you drive away, you think, well, actually, that wasn't too bad. It actually wasn't too bad.
I must thank, Mr. Titus and the CEO and those guys who allow us the time to do these things,
Yes.
And being part of the whole process. It's great to have the leadership also involved in it.
Folks, time for us to take a little ad break. When we come back, we'll start taking a look at that 7 series. Of course, it's the HSBC 7s. You'll be very keen to see Paul Delport and the boys take on the rest of the world champs. We'll get onto that in a couple of minutes. Stay with us, don't go away.
Kry soveel meer vir soveel minder by Tata Oostenburg. Koop 'n Tata Indica Vista Ego vir net R1999 per maand en betaal die eerste paaiement eers in Maart 2012. Geen deposito en 72 maande om te betaal. Ingesluit is 'n diensplan, padbystand, 'n radioseriespeler, asook die registrasie, lisensiering en nommerplate. Net by Tata Oostenburg, Brackenfell. SMS Tata na 32716.
Tata is a good buy for sure.
If you've ever considered gaining muscle or losing body fat, then it's time for good quality sports nutrition. Evox Advanced Nutrition is used by leading athletes all around the world. Evox's full range of meal replacements, protein powders and body weight management products are perfect for you. Evox is great for athletes, weekend warriors and even office jocks. Evox is available at Dis-Chem, Pick n Pay, M-Chem, Clicks, Durbell and Sportsman's Warehouse. Evox, as used by the DHL Stormers and Western Province Rugby.
We're back on air. It's Cape Rugby TV, folks. You got an opportunity to win yourself a cookbook courtesy of SA Rugby and the HSBC 7s tournament that's happening on the 9th and 10th And next weekend in Port Elizabeth. It's going to be a rip-roarer. People used to go to George, now they're going to Port Elizabeth. It's going to be an absolute party. I know people who pack their bags very early before they get on the drive to go that neck of the woods. If you are out there, and I see there was a query now on Facebook, you can follow us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. I see Amir Mohammed commenting that the live stream is not working, folks. The live stream sits on the front page of CapetownTV.org. So if you've got friends anywhere around the world who want to watch the show, it's CapetownTV.org. We're on the front page. We're no longer streaming via Ustream. We're just now permanently up the TV channel 24/7, South Africa's first television station to stream live, free to air. An absolute pioneering situation, the front page of the CapetownTV.org website. And of course, if you want to get involved next year, very important, you want to keep the Cape Rugby TV show alive, we need sponsors that are out there to come and join us. You see the absolute massive benefits that we've given to our sponsors this year. As I mentioned before, we are close on to being South Africa's biggest rugby show, even though we're right in the Cape Town area. The costs are much lower than if you were to spend on any other broadcaster, and you can target the Cape Town area specifically. So you don't have to spend money and then your advertising actually ends up being in Joburg or Durban or somewhere. You're a Cape Townian business, you want business in Cape Town, get involved with Cape Rugby TV, and of course you've got the support of Western Province Rugby Union behind us as well, which makes us so much more powerful. We are seeking sponsorship to make sure the Cape Rugby TV show stays alive. We want to get back on air next year, early January, and we want to go through all the way through the end of September, which means that we'll in effect be doing about 36 episodes. We've given back enormously to our sponsors that have supported us. Of course, not only do you get support in Cape Rugby TV on the show here, you also get support via additional streams at Cape Town TV. The show is sent out via Ustream, at least on YouTube. We have the support of Western Province Rugby Union as well. So lots of benefits for organisations, companies out there who want to make sure that Cape Rugby stays alive. You can give us a call. You can find me at CapetownTV.org, JP at CapetownTV.org. That is the email address that you can reach me on. And remember, we do have the numbers. We've got much, much bigger numbers than anybody else in the rugby space in South Africa. So low cost, big benefit. Get involved with Cape Rugby TV. Time for us tonight to take a look at what's happening in the sevens space. Looking very forward to that. And when we come back after this, I'll give you an opportunity to win yourself a Springbok cookbook, as well as a set of double tickets to go and watch the sevens in Port Elizabeth. Back in a sec.
Nelson Mandela Bay is hosting rugby's biggest party. The new home to the third round of the International HSBC Sevens World Series. This incredible rugby showpiece will be held on the 9th and 10th of December at the iconic Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. SA Rugby brings you the HSBC Sevens World Series, rugby's biggest party. Catering for hardcore rugby fans, families, students, and party people locally and nationwide. This event promises to bring action-packed fun, music, entertainment, and rugby to the people of Nelson Mandela Bay. Whether you're a student, a parent, a rugby fanatic, or just a bunch of friends looking for something to help kickstart the holiday season. Events and activations include cheerleaders, beer girls, local musicians, and entertainers. As fanatical Seven supporters prepare to descend on the country's biggest party, ask yourself why you haven't already packed your sunscreen, slipped on your supporters' gear, and booked your ticket to the hottest festival South Africa has experienced yet.
Rugby's biggest party, that's where you want to get to, the 9th and 10th of December, next week at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. You want to win yourself a cookbook as well as a set of double tickets. Get in the mix right now. All you need to do is SMS me the names of these two superstars on that Springbok Kitchen cookbook. All right, tell me who the names of those two players are. SMS the word Cape Rugby TV and your name to 32010. Just give me the name of those two guys. One of them was with the Kiddies last, or at least yesterday, so that's an easy one. And the other guy, well, you probably recognize him as well from the last couple of years as someone who led our Springbok team. Last week's winner, of course, Colwyn Beck. Congratulations, Colwyn. Alwyn Klaassen. Oliver Olsen and David Miller. You guys are going to watch the Sevens, the HBC Sevens tournament in Port Elizabeth, and hopefully your family will be very happy because you'll improve your cooking skills. Okay, some very interesting recipes there. I'll never forget on the Rugby World Tour, 99 Springboks, Ollie LaRue was asked for an interview to talk about his favorite, what food he was eating. Now, of course, we know Ollie liked to tuck around a few burgers, so he had to make up a story. And he came up with a biltong salad.
And now they do have biltong salad.
And now they do have biltong salad because, I mean, biltong's very high in protein.
Yeah.
Speaking about protein, folks, we'll get into the protein factor a little bit later. The price of protein around the world has gone up significantly. And just interestingly enough, something that many of you might not have picked up. Did you notice a few years ago you'd buy a tin of tuna, it used to be 200 grams, and you'd pay X amount? All of a sudden, the tin of tuna changed to 170 grams, and you still paid the same amount. What happened to the rest of the tuna? Why? Because the price of protein around the world has gone up. But of course, the retailers did not reduce their price. They just made the size of the product a little bit smaller, hoping that you, the sucker retailer, wouldn't realize it. Okay. That seems to be happening a lot. Have you seen the size of a hooner nowadays? That hooner is about this big now. There was a time that the chicken was a decent size. Yeah. Okay, even if it was a Durban hooner. Okay, but you would say, no, waar gaat jy nou? Next a Durban hooner. Okay, it's a Durban hooner. That hooner was at a certain time a certain price. It's still the same price, but now that hooner looks more like a pigeon. Jy kry minder hooner vir jou geld deesdae as wat jy oorspronklik gaan kry. Okay, so beware of the protein factor out there, folks. Make sure that you get yourself products that contain high contents of protein, because nowadays producers, what they do is they just lessen the amount of protein. Protein is one of the single most expensive commodities globally, which is why a little bit later we'll take a look at the Evox competition and we'll get you in the mix with protein. This is the only thing that sustains life on Earth. Helps you off season, helps you put on the muscle, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Of course, there are some events coming up still. Don't forget, it is the Christmas party. Carols by Candlelight, Elsie's River United. Alice has been on my case. And of course, Alice also pointed some important things out to me via an email earlier on. I'll tell you more about that in the social media space. But yes, Elsie's River United Rugby Football Club invites you to Carols by Candlelight. So it's not Herman by Candlelight, it's Carols by Candlelight, not the legend by Candlelight, it's actually Carols by Candlelight. Okay, so don't go out there and expecting anyone like lots of carols, like Carol Burnett show, like carols everywhere. Okay, you got to go sing. Gospel's big in the communities,
Yes.
Very big.
Very big.
Carols, carols, you can expect a good turnout for an event like that.
No, there will be a lot of people there.
Okay, and that's of course at Elsie's on the 18th of December from 4:30 to 5 o'clock. So make sure you get there. You're welcome to bring your picnic basket, chair or blanket. Perseverance and the Wise Men. Okay, that's not Perseverance and the Santa Claus suit. That's Perseverance and the Wise Men. Mr. H, am I right? It's not Perseverance the club, eh?
No.
Unless you've got another club now called the Wise Men as well. Okay, because I know that in the club space there's definitely no wise men. And of course the Christmas band's in attendance, so make sure that you get out there. Incidentally, to all the social media and PR guys that have been feeding us the information during the course of the season, you the guys that are coming to the seminars. Now let me just give you a quick explanation of this. You don't need to be on the board or executive of any club. All we want are those people that are passionate. If you've got a camera, you've got a cell phone, if you've got a story to tell, or if you just love club rugby, you're welcome to attend the seminar on behalf of your club. Now that's next week, Tuesday. Alice did point out that it's the Twilight Run also on Tuesday, but our seminar starts at 7 o'clock at the Sports Science Institute, and you're welcome to come and attend on behalf of your club. And we'll go through social media and how you feed your information to us so we can put it on TV. The more information we get from you to put on TV, the better chance you are going to have of getting sponsorship. All right, more exposure, more awareness, more development, more transformation, and essentially more empowerment for clubs. That's what those seminars are all about. So if you're one of those web savvy, just passionate people at the club. Next week, the 6th of December, Tuesday, 7 o'clock at Sports Science. It's the third of our seminars on how to create public relations for your club, how to get a business model going, and how to go and find sponsorships, and ultimately how to get your information from your club onto the TV show here, all right? Which is what we actually want, is we want to get you on TV. More of that a little bit later. Remember, you can get that free Club Rugby newsletter. All right, all you need to do to get that Club Rugby newsletter is send us an SMS with your email address using the word rugby. Very important that you get these email addresses, folks, or at least this newsletter, because this is what keeps you in the mix as to what's happening in the world of club rugby. Tells you about these seminars, it tells you about the news from other clubs, and we just build and build and build and spread the word. So just send us your email address, nothing else, with that word rugby in front to 32010. Very, very, very easy, okay? So it's quite important that we get those newsletters to you guys and get you in the mix. And those newsletters, of course, contain some fantastic photographs. It's very interesting. This newsletter this week will, of course, have nice pictures from the kiddies event, and we'll also take a look at some of the matters that arise at the AGM that was on Monday night. Just some basically wrap-ups of the season in that newsletter. Newsletter coming out to you soon. So send us your email address just with the word rugby in front to 32010. We're going to take an ad break, and when we come back from the ad break, we're going to get Ibrahim Murat on joining us for a couple of minutes, and he's going to tell us about his rugby academy out at the Grooteskier High School. Nice to see some additional rugby developments and people taking initiative and responsibility to build rugby in the community space. Back with you guys in a sec.
Summer is here, and to celebrate, the beautiful Nelson Mandela Bay is hosting rugby's biggest party. The new home to the third round of the International HSBC Sevens World Series. This incredible rugby showpiece will be held on the 9th and 10th of December at the iconic Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. SA Rugby brings you the HSBC Sevens World Series, rugby's biggest party. Catering for hardcore rugby fans, families, students, and party people locally and nationwide. This event promises to bring action-packed fun, music, entertainment, and rugby to the people of Nelson Mandela Bay. Whether you're a student, a parent, a rugby fanatic, or just a bunch of friends looking for something to help kickstart the holiday season. Events and activations include cheerleaders, beer girls, local musicians, and entertainers. As fanatical Seven supporters prepare to descend on the country's biggest party, ask yourself why you haven't already packed your sunscreen, slipped on your supporters' gear, and booked your ticket to the hottest festival South Africa has experienced yet.
If you've ever considered gaining muscle or losing body fat, then it's time for good quality sports nutrition. Evox Advanced Nutrition is used by leading athletes all around the world. Evox's full range of meal replacements, protein powders, and body weight management products are perfect for you. Evox is great for athletes, weekend warriors, and even office jocks. Evox is available at Dis-Chem, Pick n Pay, M-Chem, Clicks, Durbell, and Sportsman's Warehouse. Evox, as used by the DHL Stormers and Western Province Rugby.
Kry soveel meer vir soveel minder by Tata Oostenburg. Koop 'n Tata Indica Vista Ego vir net R1999 per maand en betaal die eerste paaiement eers in Maart 2012. Geen deposito en 72 maande om te betaal. Ingesluit is 'n diensplan, padbystand, 'n radioseriespeler, asook die registrasie, lisensiering en nommerplate. Net by Tata Oostenburg, Brackenfell. SMS Tata na 32716.
Tata is a good buy for sure.
The mic sorted out. Of course, we are very running around here crazy, and that's how things go on the show here. We've got to get things sorted out, but it's been a crazy season, and that's exactly what it has been for the whole season. But like julle mense so lekker hierso. We have to, of course, make sure that there's so many things that are going on that everything falls in place. And yeah, it's been a crazy season. We've had a couple of very funny bloopers. Let's take a look back at some of the highlights of the season. Some Province Rugby yesterday, Mr. H, and everybody seemed thrilled about the fact that there's so much publicity now for club rugby.
Yes, I was quite surprised at the amount of people that turned up, you know. We don't normally get that kind of attendance even at the council or annual general meetings.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see nearly 100 people there. I had some feedback from people saying that they now see a new world opening up for their clubs.
Yeah, I think the guys have been on a fantastic run. Actually ran into Kevin Foot today, their coach.
Yeah.
Looks like Footy's actually grown some hair after winning the 12 in a row.
Really?
No stress. He's looking very happy.
Yeah, happy. I mean, could never have called that final, but the guys hung in and it was a very brave effort to win that in the end. Yeah, I knew it was going to be tight. It was always going to be tight against Maltese, you know, and they've got a very good pack. With us going down to 14 men, we were brave to keep them out. So, yeah, massive play for 80 minutes and the guys did well there.
Yeah, cracking results. Very happy. It's awesome. I mean, the guys played so well, hung in there. You know, we were in a couple of dark places at some times, but the guys pulled through and it was a great performance.
Hi, JP. Good to be here. Well, took a long time, but yeah, we saved the best for last.
Absolutely. En coach, sê my 'n bietjie die standaard van rugby in Suid-Afrika op die oomblik. Ek bedoel, daar's groot games, die Stormers het redelik goed gedoen en paar van die ander spanne het ook. Ek gaan nou nie name noem van die ander spanne. Ons is eintlik ge-worried oor die ander spanne.
Ja, ek is nogal ge-worried oor die ander spanne. Ja, op hierdie stadium is die Stormers die vlaggenskap van Suid-Afrikaanse rugby en ek dink ons almal van suid tot noord in die hele land moet agter die span kom.
And enjoy reffing today?
Very much so. Conditions weren't great, a little muddy underfoot, but enjoyable nonetheless.
Do you recommend reffing?
I do. I'm not a great player, one of those who were very good or very blessed with talents in playing. So, yeah, refereeing was my way of staying involved in the game I love.
Also, my kids, they won this in December. We took them to Hong Kong for the Naude 7, and they slaughtered, they broke every single record over there. This was a stunning achievement against all international opposition, especially against the Indians.
You're the captain official?
Yes.
What position?
Play flag.
How did it go today?
Oh, it was the first win, and it's always good for the boys to pull together. And yeah, it was a good win. Very good. Yeah, stoked.
Peter de Villiers, coach of Villagers. Tough game today, huh?
Yeah, tough times at the moment for the club. Testing times. I think in the first 20 minutes defensively we made some errors that cost us dearly.
Any win against Villagers, really appreciated. The guys went out today and I think they played fantastically well. Yeah. Especially the first 20-25 minutes of the game, we had a bit of a purple patch. Managed to get a 20-point lead. And Village came back hard, but we stuck to our guns, defended really well.
It was a great game. I predicted it would be a hard game, and I think the guys just left it all on the field there, which was really good. And it was also a clean game, so it was easy for me to ref, so I enjoyed it.
I must say I'm very impressed with the standard of rugby that we've had here today, and it's been really good, and I see that it looks a very physical game. If you want to become a serious player, you've got to train hard and work hard, you know. There's nothing about... You can't do anything without hard work, and that's the biggest thing. And stay focused, you know, and just enjoy the game too.
Tell you, the tackle area seems to be a bit of a grey area for the players.
Yeah.
I think the referees understand it just the way the law wants us to. And then I'll just, you know, the definition is when a ball carrier is held by one or more opponents and brought to ground. That's it, simple.
We were established in 1898. Actually, it was two teams, the Lakeside and United Rugby Football Club, that amalgamated, and thus Retreat was born, 1898.
I've heard a few of the coaches also say they know they're not going to win the league, but for them it's also important where they end. So the second, third, they also play for that. So they put a lot of emphasis on that.
Baie hartseer, baie seer gemaak. IWK gaan nou 5 punte voor ons op die liga lê. Maar daar's nog 5 games om te speel.
Thank you very much, but I think there's still much more hard work to go into the league for us. We're looking forward to winning this league, but it's as I said, it's still hard work.
Soos Mr. Eitz gesê het ook, die coach kan 'n verskil maak, né?
Now here's the interesting thing. Last week, we finally broke the barrier. We are proud to say that our little show in Cape Town is now bigger than the other English-speaking show, which is national. So in Cape Town, we are bigger than they are in the entire South Africa. I think that's something to be pretty proud of, actually, which means we're, of course, 20 times bigger than they are across the Western Cape. The question that I do, though, have is why it is that there is so much money being spent on so many big tournaments And none of that big money over the last 10, 15 years, big millions, billions of rands, how is it possible that none of that money has filtered down to club rugby? Everybody's very excited. Our man of the match today is John Lee, fly-off at Scottsdene. John Lee, congratulations.
Baie dankie.
Is dit dis seker lekker vir jou om R1000 in die sak te steek?
Hy kom altyd te pas in die sak, ja, as jy nie werkie.
Absoluut. Ek dink nie mense is bewus wat hierdie televisiestasie vir klub rugby beteken nie. Daar's 'n besondere belangstelling en dit het 'n groot skop vir ons rugby gegee. Dit lyk vir my daar's net 'n hele herlewing weer in klub rugby en dit is goed vir die WP, dit is goed vir klub rugby in die WP. Net waar ek kom is die mense opgewonde oor volgende jaar en jy sal verbaas wees wat hierdie televisiestasie veroorsaak. Dit het 'n groot hype gegee vir rugby in die Weskaap.
So far, we haven't lost a game yet and the stuff staying up there, everybody wants to hit.
Baie dankie. Nee, ons op die einde bietjie gesukkel. Die manne van Rangers het gekom met alles. En gelukkig het my boys gestak by hulle guns en ons het die game deurgetrek.
They tend to comment about it and say, you know, why must women play rugby? But I don't think if you haven't actually been to a game, you can't say anything about it because, yes, it's physical, maybe not as physical as the men, but we love it just as much as the men love it. And, you know, we play with our whole hearts. And I think if you want to see it, go out there and go watch a game. It's really something to see.
Michael, you guys are lekker supporters, having a lekker joy. Elsies looks like it's cooking, eh?
Yeah, now we enjoy you coming here and promoting our community to what is rugby all about, man.
Braai julle elke Saterdag?
Ons gaan vir jou 'n spit gee as jy nou wil hê, spit man.
Exactly. Saturday everybody get together and you know, I've got a saying in Tigerberg, you know, all the poor people, and especially our people in our area, they forget about all their problems, you know. The debt of furniture debt, electricity debt, they forget about it. They come and join them for the Saturday, and Monday their problem starts again. At the weekend they're happy.
Every time we drive in that bus down Boundary Road, you get that, your hairs at the back of your head raises, no matter who you play.
My special guests on the show this evening, as usual, Herman Abrams. Hello, Mr. H.
Good evening. Am I too sexy for my shirt?
You look lovely.
Thank you.
Everybody's back in the mix. Fantastic stuff. Ebrahim Moret joins us now. Ebby, as I know you, you've been in the world of rugby for quite a while, on both sides of the fence, the commercial side and on the playing field. Let's quickly take a look at your record. SK Warmers, Vineyards, South African under 21, Western Bromwich under 21, UCT, Paarl Boys, and now you're a Groote Schuur.
Yeah, but not as a player.
I was about to say, aren't you a little bit old?
Yeah, I don't know about the
You
age.
started the Ironbok Academy at Groote Schuur. Tell us about it.
Yeah, look, it's an initiative that was launched obviously by Groote Schuur High School. It's to look at the disadvantaged rugby schools, so not necessarily your disadvantaged schools, schools playing in your lower tier leagues, giving them a platform where they can be exposed to a bit of proper training, a bit more of a professional setup.
For me to understand this simply, is it mainly for schools who actually don't have rugby at school?
Not necessarily rugby at school, but schools where rugby doesn't really dominate the agenda, if I can put it that way. It's schools where previously they had maybe quite a good rugby culture, but it's for some reason it's gone down quite a bit. So this is an attempt by us, with the partnering schools and clubs, to get them involved and to basically create a culture whereby rugby, thrives again. So
who are those partnering schools?
It's actually open to mainly, all the clubs, but ultimately at the moment we've got mostly the southern suburb schools. So your Groote Schuur, your Voortrekker High Schools, Westerford, Camps Bay High School, Violets Rugby Club. So obviously we cater per session for about 36 players. We've had quite positive feedback. A lot of schools wants to join up. And it's looking good.
On the Violets Rugby Club, I've just got to say hello to Violets Rugby Club and Muhammad Sadiq. Hello, Meneer. Hope you're well. Okay, so you've got a couple of guys from the youth structures, like Violets has got a youth structure. They're coming through, but they don't necessarily have. They need the additional coaching. There's more of these sort of academies coming up during the course of the
Yeah, look, I mean, there's obviously been a lot of academies. You know, you obviously know that there's been quite a few around over the last couple of years. We'd like to believe that we do something a bit more unique. We don't only focus on the rugby side of things. A big component, or I would probably say it's a major component, is teaching the life skills. You know, having said that, a lot of these schools play in the A2, the A3 leagues. Obviously, you know, their idea might not be to be a professional rugby player. If that is the case, we'll create the platform. But ultimately, we're trying to create a platform where kids are exposed to life outside of rugby and to know that if rugby doesn't pan out as a career, you know, there's something else.
Have you got any legends there?
In the academy, I think we've got quite a number of players that, you know, that could maybe follow in Egan's footsteps.
But he comes around every now and then and he gives a couple of stepping skills and stuff like that.
Yeah, look, you know, Egan's involvement is obviously critical. I mean, he went to Voortrekker High School, who I mentioned earlier, and that's why he's very passionate about helping out and we're
life skills as well.
Exactly.
I mean, he'll explain to the kids there not to use an okapo.
Of course, I mean that's part of his that's part of his role. You know, but ultimately it's to tell these oaks that you don't need to play Craven Week and to go through the age group structures.
No, well, I mean,
you know,
he's going to play rugby.
Exactly. You know, he didn't play in the age group representative teams, yet he went on to become one of the you know, better known players.
Better known legends.
Yeah.
If folks want to find out more about where to find you, how do they do that?
They can contact us on 021 674 2165. Alternatively, an email to ironbock.academy@gmail.com. Our website should be up and running early in the new year.
ironbock.academy@gmail.com. At Gmail. Yeah. ironbock.academy@gmail.com. Ebi Murat, thanks for joining us, and we wish you the very best. And of course, we hope to get lots of video clips of the guys training there, so that we can show it here on Cape TV.
Of course. Thanks for having us as well, JP.
Yeah, no, well, we'll definitely be catching up with you more in the new year, and we'll follow your progression, because we know that you've got a legend there with you. Speaking about legends, the stuff that makes legends is, of course, sports nutrition. That's what keeps you in the mix. One of those products is the Evox guys, the guys that have been managing to keep things going for the Stormers, for DHL Stormers, and the club rugby players that have finally started to learn that the administrators who do not pass on the information from the top all the way down to the players, the club players, you out there now know that you are allowed to go directly to Evox and purchase your products at a sponsored rate, a very much improved rate, that is, to get yourself off-season and pre-season ready, whether it be a whey protein to help cut a bit of body fat, get that six-pack going, or whether it be a meal replacement to help you bulk up off-season. Whichever it is, Evox got that product for you. So you want to win yourself a bucket of Mega Grow? All you need to do is SMS the name of the official supplier to 32010. And you can just tell us who that is. Last week's winner was Danny Junches. Congratulations to Danny. You win yourself a 5 kilogram Mega Grow. It's as simple as that. Congratulations to Danny. Of course, there's no competition moving on after this. So this is your absolute last chance to win yourself a bucket of Mega Grow. Tell us your name, but tell us who is the official supplier. Just send that word, Evox, to 32010, and we'll put you in the mix to win yourself a sports nutrition hamper courtesy of Evox Advanced Nutrition. Of course, Colour Tone was in the mix with us as well during the course of the season, and it's now time for us to take a look at White Line Fever. You want to win yourself a Colour Tone hamper for your club, that environmentally friendly line. Colour Tone Paints is what will bring it to you, the White Line Sports Line Field marker of choice. It is time for White Line Fever. You want to win that hamper for your club and not throw the lame om your gras? All you need to do is SMS Colour Tone, COLORTONE, to 32010, and you can put yourself in the mix to win a Colour Tone hamper. Last week's winner, congratulations to Hands and Hearts. Hands and Hearts wins for themselves a hamper courtesy of Colour Tone Paints in the mix. Time for us to quickly look at the Twitter handles. It is social media time, coming up in a second or so. Colour Tone Paints, available at a hardware store near you. The White Line Sports Line Field marker of choice. We are feeding those Twitter handles into the Cape Rugby, at least Western Province Club Rugby website. We're putting all those streams together, and what that means is a mix of conversation. Don't forget, we carry on with the social media seminars. You need to be there next week, Tuesday at Sports Science. Let's quickly look at some of those Twitter handles, which we feed into one big bunch, and it's like watching a whole lot of stream conversation all together at the same time. Let's take a look at some of the names that are up in the meantime. Of course, is the title that you need. We'll see that slide any second now. At is the first word of the Twitter name. Super NNK, False Bay, RFC, Durbell _rugby, Hamlet, St. George's, SKW _rugby, Ike Tiger, Young Gardens, FNB, UWC Rugby, Vintmill United, Brackenfell is in there with a mix with RFC in the front, Villager FC, Maisi Puma, Silver Tree RFC, Hamilton's RFC, Marty's Rugby, but of course we'll wait for Marty's to first come on the show and do an interview. Rugby _club, that's Helderberg's account, Collegians Rugby, Belleville Rugby, One Team, One Spirit, Violet's Parlour and MIT Rangers. Those are your Twitter handles. When we do the social media seminars, then of course we'll talk about exactly how you should construct Twitter handles. Some things you should avoid, some things you should focus on when doing Twitter. How to feed Twitter into Facebook, how to feed Facebook into Twitter, how to link your YouTube account to your Twitter account, how to feed your Twitter account into your Facebook page. That's the kind of stream that's following. And I imagine if all 90 clubs are all tweeting on Twitter and everybody's telling their scores, imagine the conversation stream that 90 clubs will have on a Saturday afternoon. Who needs TV when you're doing that? But of course, we'll do that live as well. Mr. H, but that's what we're looking forward to, is a massive season next year. Of course, we're hoping to start Cape Rugby show as early as possible so we can look at some of the Super 15 and then move into the Club Rugby after that.
Yeah, well, we hope that the sponsors will come on board and then we can start early.
Well, there you go, folks. Of course, it is about the sponsors. There is value for money. You're not going to get ripped off by any media agencies. You're going to make sure that you get enormous numbers. As we've said, we're 5 times bigger than any other rugby show in the country. You're going to get a connection with the Western Province Rugby Football Union, who's got an enormous database, a lot of clubs that you can get into. And of course, that's what you want to do. So give us a call here, or you email me, jp@capetowntv.org, if you want to get involved with the sponsorship of Cape Rugby. We need to keep the Cape Rugby TV show alive, but we do need sponsors out there, because I sure as hell know that the media planners out there are not even going to look, because it's not in their space. Of course, the media departments of those various agencies still seem to be controlled by many of the old school people out there. But we'll worry about them a little bit later when they wake up to the fact that there's a couple of million people watching Cape Rugby TV. Iggy, it's been an exceptional ride, eh?
Wonderful year, and I have to say thank you to you and Mr. H for inviting me, and then inviting me again and again, and then afterwards I just came on my own.
You know, the thing no, but I think what a lot of people don't understand, I think also what a lot of the other sports codes out there need to understand, it's not that hard to do, you know, and all you need to do is find the right people. I mean, we could not have put the show on without yourself. You know, you came, we found you as the right person. You live close by.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a fact. These practical things make a difference. And I think people out there must realize that you've got to find easy solutions, low cost. It doesn't have to be expensive. So to you for coming on such a regular basis, and of course Paul Delport, who also, and Paulie made such an effort to you. Massive thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure, JP, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just clear to see that when passion is behind something, that you get big results, and the numbers have shown that.
Yeah, Mr. H, I don't think
made
people.
him a legend.
I don't think people actually realize, and I certainly hope that the Club Rugby people out there realize what it is that you do for Club Rugby, and most likely, without you, Club Rugby would probably be on deathbed. But to you and the rest of the union, thank you very much for supporting Cape Rugby, and we look forward to an excellent relationship next year.
Yeah, and I want to say thank you to all the viewers out there, and I hope they have an enjoyable festive season. Come back and watch us again.
You will be watching us. You'll be watching us in early January or late January. Have a fantastic rugby season. That's the wrap from us, and a great time with Cape Rugby and Club Rugby, putting it on the map next year. More youth, more Super 15, more Vodacom Cup. Looking forward to that, and all the sponsors. Have a fantastic festive season. Stay safe on the roads. Bye-bye, and thank you very much.